Okay, so let's start creating rooms that tell a story. So, again, if again, not one of my clients in my 8 years of doing this is the same style. Actually, a lot of times they don't know what style they are. So after I do the formal design presentation, it really starts to help them, and they kind of ruminate about it for a couple days, and then they're like, okay, we love this, but we don't love this. So it's really one of the most important parts of my process is helping each client discover what they would like for their home, because there's a lot to it, right? There's a lot of elements and moving parts to each room. So I want you to think just for a moment. I saw this apartment therapy article recently. It was so funny because it was so apropos to what I'm going to be discussing today. So it's the secret room concept. So if you could create a room in your home that taps into your personal intuition, no input from the outside world, no influences from design trends or internet trends, no trends, okay? Nobody else swaying your design decisions. If you could create a zone of your personal freedom that reflects your innermost joy, inducing style preferences, AKA a no judgment zone, what does this room look like? So I want you to jot down just a few thoughts. So this is like your personal favorite space. And it could be like anything. Like if you're like, I love Disney World, write that down, we'll figure out how to incorporate it. You could have a favorite pattern. You could have color that you like. You could prefer neutral interiors. You might want to make, maybe you love, taking a bath. So it would be your bathroom, or it could be your sunroom because you love the outdoors. So something that, your most important space, your secret room, no judgment. You had to think about that one, right? Okay, so just anyone throw out, you don't have to raise your hand, just one adjective or one word or one concept. Windows. Jewel tone grass cloth wallpaper, like the one I put on my ceiling in the show house. Awesome. A garden room. Okay. We like the outdoors, big windows. Pink closet. Love it. Okay. Floral. Okay. Floral wallpaper. Anything else? Okay, good. So what was the point of me asking you this? Anyone know? This is what you're supposed to do with your home, okay? So you aren't supposed to be on Instagram trying to create the glossy photo. You aren't supposed to be following, oh, this designer said that the rule, well, the rug, the front feet of the thing have to be on the thing. No, forget the rules, okay? Really forget those rules, because you can break all the rules. I am a proponent of breaking rules. Some of them you kind of have to follow, but really not. So your home should reflect you. And that's telling a story, right? About you. Who are you? So I always say that a foyer is one of my most cherished spaces to design, because it is the first thing that people see when they walk in. So don't throw away the foyer. Although it should be about you, not them, but still, if you have guests over. Okay, so this is what is the favorite room in your home? Think about it for a minute. This is my favorite home in my room. So this is, and I love every room in my home, but this is our library. And It is all black, black, black everywhere. Actually, the ceiling is a Schumacher high gloss wallpaper. And yeah, everything's black. And in fact, it used to be just black walls. And I said to George, my husband, I said, hey, I'm going to do all black everywhere. He's like, really? Is that going to make the space look small? I'm like, nope, that's false. That never is like that. Just let me do it. And of course I did it. And this is what, the reason it's my favorite. So it's the why. The reason is because it's our adult space for entertaining. And I love to entertain. We have people over all the time, kids including for sleepovers, which I've got to put a stop to that. But this is kind of our adult space. We try to kick the kids out. I have 2 daughters, 9 and 11, and we let the 3 dogs come in. Kids, you're out there. The reason I love it is because I tend to gravitate towards like warm and cozy spaces. Living in Michigan, as you can see, we have floor to ceiling windows in our home. So living in Michigan, when it's like a fresh snowfall, I mean, this is just like the best. It's the best room. There's birds out there in that tree, cardinals and blue jays, and it's just like cozy, and it's just my favorite. The seating is super comfortable. Those whiskey chairs, we call them. It's just, what do I like about it? It's dark, cozy, and that's where I would like to curl up, okay? Again, I have a lot of spaces in my home that I love, but I guess that's my favorite one. Yeah, and every book is actually, they're all very meaningful. So we've collected them over the years. I was a French major in college, and I actually taught, that's why I was asking you. I taught at the International Academy in Bloomfield when I was in my 20s, and then at University of Michigan, Dearborn. So half of the books are in French, and then half of them are history books that my husband picked. So it's like we picked all the books, so it's very personal. It's not like that Books by the Foot company, which, listen, I've used them before and they're lovely. At least they're all the same color, right? So yeah, that's what we're going to focus on, is the why. Why do we, like everything? So here are some general things to chew on, food for thought. So designing a room that's pretty is all very well, but is this a room where you would like to put your feet up and have a snack, or have snack, as I said, typo. Yeah, like you should be able to feel comfortable. Like it should be warm and inviting. If it feels too sterile and the seating is all uncomfortable, like, ugh, have you ever been in someone's home or your home and you're like, this just isn't comfortable? Okay, so we have to make it comfortable. A room cannot be precious. It has a job to do. Is the space honest? So I've gone into a lot of clients' homes that needed help, and they've said things like, I tried, but like, I know that like they're showing a lot of gray paint, right? And like gray, is that cool? And I'm like, who cares what's cool? Like, what's cool to you? Gray? No, it's not cool. But is it like authentic? Is it you? If it is not you, it will read to other people as not you, like you tried too hard, okay? So your home really does have to be your own space. And sometimes you can't pull it all together. So you do have to hire a professional, okay? That's what we do. We help you pull it all together, but it's all you. It should always be you. So don't just decorate, create a unique narrative of your client's next chapter through the surroundings you create for them. I love that. That's a quote from somebody, I wrote it down. Fill the home with things that are their own. So if you don't have things, for all of you that came that are, trying to decorate your homes, I would start to like accumulate things. Okay, go antiquing, go to art fairs. Don't just buy like, home goods. Like just don't even go there, actually, don't. Every now and then, if you see something great, and then keep it inviting, comfortable, and again, personal, always personal, honest, and individual. So this is kind of what I like to use when I start working with somebody. So this is the inventory for the room. So I'll say the who, the what, the why, the where, the when. So that's like really important because, for example, I just did a kitchen for this lovely couple on Leagate Lane. They had no children. They weren't going to have children. They had no animals. And so they said, we want like the best of the best. We want marble everywhere. I was like, really, marble? Okay, yes. Marble everywhere. Like they didn't care about like anything. They didn't care about performance fabric. It was just like, give us the best and we don't care. So so do you have kids and dogs? Yes. Although it's funny, all of my kids and dogs clients want like Krypton. Are you guys familiar with Krypton fabric? Like performance fabric that you can wet clean and it just repels stains. And somehow none of my fabrics are Krypton. Like they're all like dry clean only, like real ridiculous, but it still works out. So, oh yeah, where will the kids and dogs be? Well, you know where mine will be. The dogs will be with us. No. How many people need to have seating in this space? This is a huge thing that you need to think about. So when I'm doing like a big, living room, great room, family room, I always will ask like, would you like a sectional? Because there are sectionals that are beautiful. There really are. We just procured a wonderful antique mid-century modern cream leather sectional, and it is just dynamic and it's modular and it's literally, it is for the kids. leather, that's why. But there are really, doesn't have to be antique or mid-century modern, but there are really good sectionals and we can make that work if that's what you need. And then I also love to use little ottomans tucked everywhere and benches in front of the window. Oops, upholstered benches, because a lot of times when you do have guests, you can pull those up and then make those part of your circular kind of grouping. What style of art do you like? So again, I try to get my clients in the beginning, thinking about art. I give them original art, websites, local artists I'll share. Just because over the process, I really encourage them, please pick the art, okay? I don't want to pick your art for you, even though I love art and, we were art collectors. Our house was loaded with art, but that's something, the art is really, and, throughout the process, I'll say, what are you guys finding? What do you like? And then that helps me further, dive into like what I can bring in with the accessories, like those finishing touches. Do you have any family heirlooms that you would like to incorporate? A lot of people are like, oh, well, I got this for my great aunt, but like, I'm like, no, it's beautiful. Like, let's use it. Okay. So we can incorporate any piece and any family heirloom that is special, like your mother's secretary, or we love to do that. That's what makes the room tell a story, right? Do you have any special antiques? And when people think of antiques, like you think of kind of like a flea market. And yeah, sometimes I find some of my best antiques at like a warehouse, and it's not very glamorous, but when you put it in the context of a beautiful space, it really works. But there are wonderful antique dealers in the area that if, wow, yeah, they do a good job. I mean, you're paying a little bit more, but they all look shiny and new. So you can get them from the flea market warehouse. You can get them shiny and new. You're just going to pay like 3 to 4 times as much. Okay, any collections that you would like to display? So some people like collect paperweights. Anyone have any cool collections? Like that was our book collection that we really loved. So that we had to put that somewhere. Yeah. Silver, beautiful, like in your dining room. Yeah, silverware, lovely, like real silverware. I just accumulated a set from my great aunt, and it's so fun to like set the table now because I have real silverware. Yeah, it's really it's a difference. Yeah. Interior design coffee books, great. Those are great for accessorizing. Anyone else? Yeah.
And I have like 4 of them in bookcases with a little
Oh,
light,
great.
and I just love them. I'd get more, but I just don't have the space.
That's
but
wonderful.
they're
I bet
fun.
we could find more space for those.
Yeah.
Keep going. Um, yeah, so I don't know. I've seen all sorts of collections, like magazine covers, things like that. And if sometimes people won't know that they have a collection going and they'll have like things dispersed throughout their home. And so then I try to take those and we unify them and we make them like a focal point. Favorite places to vacation? Okay, a lot of times if they can't come up with artwork, then I'll say, what's your favorite place you've been? And then we'll go in that direction. Like, the ocean, or do you love to hike? Where do you like to hike? Acadia National Park. Okay, let's figure it out. Are you a maximalist or minimalist? Who is the maximalist? Yes, oh, yes. Yeah, some people really just don't like a lot of stuff. They'll say that I don't like a lot of stuff. And then some people are like, give me the more, the better, the more of the layers, the better. Okay, so we'll see both kind of examples of that, I believe. Although most of the professional photos that I picked were maximalism because that's kind of what I like. What colors do you like and dislike? That's so important because people won't tell me what colors they like. And it's really one of the most important things. Do you hate orange? Let me know. Patterns, someone said recently, I just want it to be neutral and textural, but I hate animal print. I was like, oh, okay, I won't use any. Thanks for letting me know. Oh, this is a good, I want you guys to chime in here. So Emily, get your microphone ready. Should the public seek out or hire an interior decorator, designer to get that designer's aesthetic? Yes or no? I've heard yes. Not going to tell you what I think yet. Yep.
Wait,
Unless you want, yeah.
unless you're thinking it's going to complement your look that you're already gravitating towards.
Mhm. I have a friend-ish, she's not really that close of a friend, a colleague, I guess, another designer in the Points on the east side. And she said, well, I think, she's very like that, I'll do my impression of her. Well, I think that if they're not hiring you for your look, then you're not a successful designer. And I was like, wrong, but I'm not going to tell you why, but yeah, it's wrong. So, again, not one person wants the same thing. So I always say, help them find their style. And then I just put my little spin on it and I execute it. Okay. But I'm not there to give you what I like because I have 6 foot tall brass crane sculptures in my living room. You may not like those, right? So that's really my belief. Now, Aaliyah, you may, really find that Corey Damon Jenkins is the shit. Sorry, I just swore. He is. Actually, if you get him, let him do his style. Just kidding. Okay. Some general rules to live by. Who cares about rules? Break them. Yes, really break the rules for the most part. But here are things that I don't find inspiring, I guess, right? So this is kind of outside of what we're talking about telling a story, but just some general rules like matchy. Another wonderful designer she's like a guru to me. She moved to North Carolina. She was in the Points, Janine. I love Janine. So she said something once to me because I was picking her brain at a party, and she said, anyone can match things. Like anyone can do that, right? You're paying me all this money, a lot of money, to not match it and to not match it well. And so that is how I feel about interiors. Don't match it, but if you don't know how to not match it, then you hire someone, okay? You're not paying someone to match things. If that's what you're paying someone for and you get down the line with them and they're matching things for you, just say, this is not working out for me, and you can break up with your decorator. So a variety of textures and finishes. So, I'm working with a client right now, actually. Beautiful waterfront home, and they have their dining room, which they're not married to any of this furniture, but everything is mirrored. Yeah, that's a struggle for me. And they're like, well, I don't know, like, what should we do? And I'm like, well, like, let's just pick one mirrored piece that we like. And then we'll, try to bring in some warmth, because mirrors are very sterile. And the best is when you get the all gray room with all mirrored furniture. And now, yeah, fun. It's like a black and white movie. So let's try to bring in all sorts of different textures. So mix furniture styles from different eras. I love to do that. That's like the mistress of the mix. Like I love to do like a couple modern pieces in like a very traditional space. Combining old and new. So again, like throw some antiques in there, maybe do reupholster them with some, shiny and new fabric. Add treasures from travel. So again, if you really are wanting to tell that story, every trip you go on, like my husband and I will go to art galleries in every place we go. And that's like our thing, but we don't buy anything there. We just look. It's so funny. And then a really great thing too is to mix and match furniture shapes and silhouettes. So if you have I love the idea of like a traditional rolled arm skirted sofa and then like a very like angular contemporary chair. And so it's just more fun. And then maybe like a round something or other, and then another straight something. So the silhouettes, when you mix and match those, it's just more interesting. Another way to add interest. And then combining, this is go back to home goods. Listen, I wasn't saying home goods was terrible. I wasn't. It's not my favorite. And I try not to go there anymore just because the line is too long for checkout. Really, but combining high and low for a budget conscious space. So sometimes we get down to the end there and they've just spent too much. Although usually I charge a flat fee for accessorizing, and sometimes I lose money on my accessories because I like one of a kind things. Like I don't like the mass produced stuff. I'm thinking of like those sphered ball things with the stick thing. Oh, I really hate those guys, but that's just me. So blending the disparate pieces seamlessly is a true talent. So if you're able, obviously, if you have like a $10,000 Baker sofa and gorgeous, hand knotted rug and all these different things, like you can probably throw a couple coffee table books from Home Goods in there. No one will know they're from Home Goods. Okay. So that's what I mean about, not everything has to be lavish. And if you're able to achieve the balance of that, then you have mastered design. Congratulations, Oh, this is what I like. One of my favorite, I guess, facets of design is, I don't know why I wrote that so small. It should be bigger. Juxtaposition. Juxtaposition in any form is so interesting. So in like the show house room, it was a masculine feel, but then it had a little bit of femininity with the floral mirror and with the delicate Murano lighting. Yeah, I just think it's more interesting to do that, right? So masculine and feminine is something I play with all the time in every room I do. And then I love a little bit of traditional and contemporary. They say sometimes when you're like, well, I don't know what percentage, they'll do like the 80-20 rule. So do 80% of your room traditional, and then throw in a couple modern pieces, but don't like have them be like out of the blue. Put like a damask fabric on those modern pieces or something like that. So, and then you can switch that around. That's a good rule for starting to figure out how to incorporate, the different styles and genres. Round and straight, again, we talked about silhouettes, outdoors in and indoors out. So you guys were saying that you love sunrooms and windows. I mean, who doesn't, right? So bring some plants in if you love the outdoors. Maybe leave your windows undressed purposely, things like that. Oh, textures, shiny and dry, rough and smooth, thick and thin, light and dark. You get the idea. Patterns. Oh, I love pairing like these, like plaid and floral together, geometric and damask. Have you ever gone in someone's house and like everything, it's like zebra, and then there's leopard, and then there's like a zebra rug, and then there's a leather. And woo, okay, too much, right? So a little hint of animal, a little hint of floral, you can put them together. That makes it so much more interesting. And then go for balance and harmony, obviously. And you're like, well, how do I do that? Hopefully you figure it out today. Show house room. So my favorite part was the cigarette that I put, a cigarette in the pipe, because these people really like to party. But yeah, so this room I thought really told a story. I don't know how we got going with it. The buffalo painting, which I should have gotten a better picture, but we had a lot going on here, but I don't think it was too much. So there was literally nothing to start with, except the beams. Do you see how the beams were painted? That was it. That was like existing from the home. But we did grass cloth wallpaper in between the beams. And then we added the painting and the Murano chandelier are the only thing I think that I presented. And the ladies said, if you get rid of those, you're fired. I said, okay, fine. So based on the painting and the chandelier, we started going in like a Western kind of ski vibe. Like, I don't know, it kind of spoke to us. So we've got some like skis that we found, and then we took like a vintage ski hat and goggles, and we had those custom framed in like a shadow box frame. The sculpture kind of of the horse is kind of gives you that we're big skiers. I don't know how we got going, but we do. And that's like how design kind of happens organically. You just kind of go. So it's nice that the room has like an angle, but again, I think the mirror and the chandelier and like the fringe on the star ottoman kind of, make it a little more feminine. So there's a juxtaposition there. And then another thing that I thought was cool is the floral ottoman has like a more masculine fabric, but with a feminine trim. So I like to play with that. The walls were actually, and you can't see so much, but it's like a faux leather wallpaper, like squares. And like I said, the lighting is delicate, but yeah. Oh, and you can see, we talked a lot about different shades and different tones. So all of the pillows on the sofa, I don't know if you can notice, are like different tones that we pulled from, we try not to match, but it all works somehow together. So that is the latest room that I did that told a story. And actually, if you can see it, my husband's favorite place in the world is Telluride. So we go there every year to ski with our daughters. And I can barely breathe there. Anyone been there? Oh my God, the altitude. I'm like, but it's great skiing. So I put that Telluride Stories book there because it was for George. And so when he walked in the room on opening night, I said, well, you have to look and find, the thing that I put in here for you. And he's like, what, the books? I'm like, no. And so he found it finally. He said, I want to read that when you're done. So, so yeah, but I didn't want to like overwhelm you with my designs, but I thought, well, this is the latest one that's going to go all bye-bye tomorrow. Oh, and the lamps have like a little, I don't know if you can tell, but they have like a little kind of Aztec vibe, like Southwest vibe. So there were little touches, but still kind of a mix, right? So yeah. Yeah, they are keeping the Stark rug, Missoni for Stark rug that was custom for their room. So thank goodness. I gave them a nice deal on that. They're keeping the Roman shade, which is that Schumacher dragon fabric. They're keeping the turquoise with the brown fringe drapery panels, the fireplace accessories, and the lamps. So yeah, the last show house I did, which was in Indian Village about 4 years ago, I think the homeowner kept nothing from anybody except for somehow he decided to keep my window treatments. And I was like, I beat all of you. I'm like, he kept my window treatments. And I didn't even know why. I was like, this is not even like I designed a nursery for the last show house. So yeah.
What's that over the fireplace? It looks like a large flower.
It is, yes, that is actually, I think there's one on the floor right now in the Baker showroom. It is It's called the Patello Mirror. It's Laura Carrar, who's a designer for Baker Furniture. So, oh, and the mirror, I'm sorry. Somebody else purchased the mirror and someone else, not the homeowner, purchased the sconces, and then a separate person did the Murano chandelier. So actually, yeah, I did pretty well. Yeah.
So that's possible?
Oh, yeah, for sure. You
Okay,
can
so I'm new to
reach
the
out
show,
to any of the designers, any.
And they, okay.
Yeah, so yeah, if you saw something you liked, they want to sell it. Yeah, the only thing that wasn't for sale in my room was the floral ottoman and the painting. And then there was one other thing. Oh, the books, yeah. But yeah, no, we're hoping that the general public, the homeowner, that we will, because it's a very expensive thing for us to do as designers. It's we pay for everything, including all of the contractor work. But I would never not do it because it's the most fun thing ever. You don't have to okay anything with anybody. You just do whatever you want. No. No, the only thing that they would pay for, in the past they've had, and I don't think they did that with this show house, but, the designers that get the kitchens and bath, like the gut jobs, they have to work with the homeowner and get them to, they have to like basically, work for that person, and then they don't have to pay. But it's not as fun as doing like the spaces that you just get to do, like this was so fun. I was like, "Ooh." And tomorrow I'm going to spend like 5 hours and sweat while I take all those books back to my house. But